Good morning, everybody. How you doing? Welcome to part number 4 of Motorizing My Uncle. You're probably wondering why the hell is he laying on the hood of my truck with the sun beating down on him? Well, I'll tell you what. He's damp. I can't get him to dry out. Now, I'm going to tell you what I think happened because he's not wet here. He's only wet down from here over. He's just like damp, very, very damp. And so I'm leaving him sit here in the hot sun and he'll dry out. Now, the shirt I had on him was the same way. I left the shirt here on the truck. It dried out nicely. I go put it in the shed and it's all damp again. This is what I think happened. This is the stuff we use in the house. It's called damp red, or in this case it's damp check. But that's calcium chloride is really what it is, and it absorbs moisture. Now I had one of these containers in the back of Uncle Dorkel in the corner of the bedroom, and it didn't get spilled over. It had probably, well, there's the calcium chloride holder right here, and then the rest fills up with water, and you're supposed to maintain this level to make sure it doesn't go too high and go into here. Well, I think what happened, it didn't get spilled over, but it acts like it's sticky. Now I keep Uncle Dorkel in the shed now, in the new edition shed, and we use these in the closets. This is called damp red, and it collects water down at the bottom here. So I'll bring it outside here. You might be able to see it a little better. See, there's water in there, and the calcium chloride sits up here. Okay, so what I do is I just hang it in the shed here, and it's picked up quite a bit of moisture. These work fine unless it's real cold, then of course they don't. If it's freezing out, they don't. So I set Uncle Dorkel out here. Now he's going to dry up on the truck. But when I put him back in here again, the next day he's going to be damp again. So I don't know what it is, but it's a sticky dampness. Here's his coat, here's his clothes, that extra shirts and stuff, these are okay. But the one that was on him and the t-shirt that's on him right now is, it feels damp, not wet, soaking wet, but damp and kind of sticky, similar to what this stuff is here. I'll show you here what this is. The calcium chloride, when you get these things, are new. They come in a plastic bag. You cut the bag open and you dump the calcium chloride into here. It sits about an inch off the bottom of the container here, as you can probably see. Well, when you dump this water out, you pull this out and you dump out the water. Well, the water is kind of sticky like. It's hard to explain. It's sticky. And that's the same feeling I get on his shirt. It's like, it's very slightly sticky. Not real bad, but it don't feel right. But it's good and dry up here. So what I think is happening is somehow this stuff must have got knocked over, although the container wasn't knocked over in the back of Uncle Dorkel when I kept him in the house. But it was buried in the corner. And somehow the stuff, the liquid, it was very humid in the house, and we had the AC running and everything, but we also, when we don't have the AC running, we had the dehumidifier going. And with this humid weather we had there, it seems like the fabric took in the moisture from this. That's my feeling. Because it doesn't feel like a normal dampness. It's got like I say, a very slight sticky feeling to it. So if anybody's ever used stuff like this, maybe you might have an answer as to why. Short of literally washing the clothes and then drying them properly, I don't know what else to do. it's damp enough that I don't like it. It could lead to a mildew problem, and being that Dorkle is cardboard, would present quite a bit of a problem. Right now, there's no problem with mildew or anything on them, but I think this had something to do with it. As you can see, this is our recycle bin. We go through quite a bit of these things. Anyways, today I think we're going to get started. Let him dry out on the truck hood, and I'm going to commence the drilling the hole for this self-tapping screw that's going to go in here, and get this ready, and then I'm going to take and make the brackets necessary to support the motor on one side, and a captive bearing surface, or some sort of a bearing surface, probably a washer on a plywood or something, to support this end inside the body of the Dorkle character. So I'm going to be doing that now while that's drying. I got to put this in the drill press and drill it out, or maybe I'll drill it by hand. I'm not sure yet what I'm going to do. We'll come back on the video in a minute. Alright, I just got through drilling my drill press and didn't put it on video. The 1/8 inch hole, what I had done, if you can see that, I had to file a little flat area here so I can get the prick punch in there and start the hole. It took a while to get that bit to start. And I oiled it up good, and I'm taking a 3/8 inch bolt and just running it through to clean the threads out, because I don't have a tap to do this. So I'm just kind of like, and I can feel it right now, it just went through just fine. So we're going to clean that out, and then I'm ready to put the self-tapping screw in there once I get the bobby pin clip, if you want to call it that, on the head stick. I'm trying to tap this, and this tap and die set here that I got is very, very old, and I can't read even with my powerful magnifying equipment. I can't read what's on the damn things. And the drill bit is the next size up. Let's see, 9/64. I used 1/8 inch, but that self-tapping screw isn't going to work in there because it's got a little point in it, and it's going to interfere with the threads down here. So what I'm doing is I'm trying to tap for a machine screw. Actually, this machine screw right here. But it's going in real hard, and I fear that I'm going to break the tap, because I think the 9/64 is too small. And I may have to go to a 5/32, which I don't have. So I'm almost through. I can see I can get my damn thumb out of the way here. You can see the tip of the tap coming through there. Now, if I can use a machine screw, but the problem is when I put my temporary bolt in here, 3/8, it hits the tip of the bolt. Now naturally there's junk in here that has to come out. Flush it out with WD-40 and run this in and out here to get the shavings out, or whatever's in there, out. But there's always a little burr hanging there. But if I can get the bolt in there, and what I'll do is I'll put a nut on the bottom so that this can snug up. Now this is a little fatter, and it may not take that little spacer or that little bearing sleeve that I showed you, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. I've got to finish tapping this. I've got to do this off camera because I can't have everything here. Well, I'll tell you what, I'll put it on camera so you can watch. I'll put the tripod up. I don't have any cutting oil. I do have some in the old workshop cellar. All you dare to do is back it out and get the shavings out. She's going in nice. Oh, she's about halfway down that shaft. I don't want to hit the threads on the other side. This hole don't go all the way through. It only goes in part way. A little oil in there. Tell you, this drill press vise comes in handy. I bought this back about 1968. I think I told you that. Going nicely. I gotta make sure. Okay, she's almost hit the bottom there. Perfect. Perfect. Beautiful. Alright, now, this is the bolt. Yeah, that's good. Now, oh, that's solid. That's better than the self-tapping screw. We'll pull that out now. And then we'll check it out. Alright. Now, what we're going to do here, we're going to flush this out. I'll come back. I'm going to flush it out with WD-40 and the sprayer here to get the filings that are in here out. I don't know if you can see that. You probably can't, but I'll be back in a minute. These glasses out of the way here. Don't want to get oil on them. Binding, but it ain't from this. This is why I wanted to use a separate bolt and not use the, get this burr out of here. You still got some crap in there. I don't have a tap to run through this. Shouldn't need it. Should be able to do it with this bolt. I don't see anything in there. Oh, she's going through it. There she goes. Alright, we'll come back on the video in a minute here. Alright, I worked in a couple of 3/8 bolts. Now we got this thing working good. This is screwed in. And to keep this from interfering with the threads, I'm going to put a nut down here. Now this is a little long, but that's okay. It can stick up over the top of the thing because we'll just build it up with washers. We're going to have a washer sitting, well not this particular one, but we're going to have a washer sitting on top of the bobby pin thing that I made up. We'll keep that. This is going to ride below it, of course. And as this motor is turning this rod, naturally,
at 150 RPM, the head should turn pretty slow and yet still be turning, and you can actually see it turn. So she's working just fine, and that's better than the self-tapping screw. Originally I drilled an 1/8 inch hole in here and used a smaller tap um, to tap it and put a smaller screw in there, and that didn't work out too well. Here we got a much larger screw. This tap here I think said number 10 on it. Read it. Like I say, this is a very old set. Let's see what this says here. 1024 National Coarse Thread. That's a real old tap. I got this probably 1968 to around 70 or so, when I worked at a vending company for 11 years. And a lot of I don't have a 3/8 inch tap in this thing. Not that I need that, but there was a time I actually was going to use it to chase the threads in here. But I don't need to use a tap now because we worked out the burrs and pieces of metal filings from the drilling here out with these bolts and well lubricated with plenty of oil. So now we got to go make up this rig and try to get the body mount for the motor and so forth. That means we'll have to bring Dorkel over here. Hopefully he's dried up enough now that I can start working on him.